a student at Huntington High School, and I am a part of Student Council, and today we'll be reading Dr. Seuss' Sleep Book. The news just came in from the county of Keck that a very small bug by the name of Van Vleck is yawning so wide you can look down his neck. This may not seem very important, I know, but it is, so I'm bothering to tell you so. A yawn quite catching, you see, like a cough. It just takes one yawn to start other yawns off. Now the news has come in that some friends of Van Vleck's are yawning so wide that you can look down their necks. At this moment right now, under 7 more noses, great yawns are in blossom. They're blossoming like roses. The yawns of that one little bug is still spreading. According to the latest reports, it's heading across the wide fields through the sleepy night air, across the whole country towards very which where, and the people are gradually starting to say, I feel rather drowsy. I had quite the day. Creatures are starting to think about rest. 2 biffer-bomb birds are now building their nest. They do it each night, and quite often I wonder how they do this big job without making a blunder. Not that is their problem, not yours, not mine. The point is they're going to bed, and that's fine. Sleep thoughts are spreading throughout the whole land. The time for night brushing of teeth is at hand. Up hiker hymns falls where the great rivers rushes and crashes down crags and great garden gushes. The hiker hymners sisters are using their brushes. Those falls are just grand for toothbrushing beneath, if you happen to be up that way with your teeth. The news just came in from the castle of Krupp that the lights are all out and the drown bridge is up. And the drown bridge drawers just said with a yawn, my bridge is drawn and it's going to stay drawn. Till the milkman delivers the milk about drawn is I'm going to bed now, so nobody better come around with a special delivery letter. The number of sleepers is steadily growing. That is where more and more people are going. In Copper Springs, in the Silt Walkers Hall, the Silt Walkers slits all stacked on the wall. The Silt Walkers have called it a day. They're all tuckered out and they're swooning away. This is very big news. It's important to know that. That's why I'm bothering telling you so. Way out the west in the town of Murgy, the Hicklehorn Hawking Club just went to bed. Every horn has been quietly hung on a hook for the night in its own private Hicklehorn nook. All things happy day they've been honking about. The Hicklehorn honkers have honked themselves out. But they'll wake up quite fresh in the morning and then they'll start right Hicklehorn honking again. Everywhere creatures are falling asleep. The Kapostle Frank just collapsed in a heap. And by adding the Frank to the others before, I am able to give you the Who's Asleep Sore. Right now, 40,404 creatures are happily deeply in slumbers. I think you'll agree that a whopping fine number. Counting up sleepers is just how we do it. Real quite simple. There's nothing much to it. We find out many we've learned the amount by an audio tally count. On a mountain halfway between Reno and Rome, we have a machine in a plexiglass dome, which listens and looks into everyone's home. And whenever it sees a new sleeper goes flap, it jiggles and lets a new big old ball drop. Our chap counts these balls as they plug in a cup, and that's how we know who is down and who is up. Do you talk in your sleep? It's a wonderful sport, and I have some news of this sport to report. The world champion sleeper talks, Joe and Mo Redzoff, have just gone to sleep and they're talking their heads off. For 45 years now, each chattering brother has babbled and gabbled all night to the other. They talked about laws and they've talked about gauze. They talked about paws and they talked about flaws. They talked quite a lot about old Santa Claus. And the reason I'm telling you this is because you should take up this sport. It's just fine for the jaws. Do you walk in your sleep? I just had a report. Some interesting news of this popular sport. Near Fingerling Fen, there's a sleepwalking group, which not only walks, but it walks a lop and hop. Every night they go miles while they walk, so such limps they have to keep eating to keep up their strength. So ever often, one puts down his hoops, stops hooping, and does some quick snobbing for soup. That's why they are known as the Hoop Soup Snoop group. Sleeping walking too are the curious crandles, who sleepwalks on hills with absorbed sized candles. The crandles walks nightly in a slumbering peace, in spite of slight burns from the hot dripping grease. The crandles wear candles because they walk far, and they wake up. What want to see where they are? Now the news has arrived from Valley of Vale that Chippendale Mub has just bitten his tail, which he does every night before shutting his eyes. Some nipping sounds silly, but really it's wise. He has no alarm clock, so this is why. He makes sure that he'll wake up at right time of day. His tail is so long he won't feel any pain. Till the nip makes the trip and gets up to his brain. In exactly 8 hours, the Chippendale Mub will at last feel the bite and yell, "Ouch!" and wake up. And Mr. and Mrs. J. Carmichael Crocs have just gone to bed near the town of Fort Knox, and they, by the way, have the finest of clocks. I'm not all sure that I have quite understand just how things work. With that one extra hand, but do I know this clock does not very slick trick. It doesn't tick tock. How it goes, it tick tock ticks. So with this ticks and its talkers and the tops and its tickers, it saves lots of time and the sleepers sleep quicker. What a fine night for sleeping. From all that I hear is that the best night for sleep in many a year. They've even slept in a Z-back motel, and people don't usually sleep there too well. The beds are like rocks, as everyone knows. The sheets are too short. They won't cover your toes. So if people are actually sleeping in there, it's a great night for sleeping. It must be the air. It's a great night for snorers. I just had a report. Some boys are at the top in the musical sports. The snortiest snorers in all fair land are Snorter McPhail and his Snore a Snort band. This band can snore Dixie and Old Swan River so loud it will make 40 elephants shiver. The loudest of the boys in McPhail, he snores with his head in 3 gallons pail. So they snore in a cave 20 miles out of town. If they snorted closer, they would snore the town down. Do you know who's asleep out in Falloon Lagoon? 2 very nice Falloon Gahoon baboons. We've added them to our Who's Asleep count, which had grown to a really amazing amount. Exactly 8,880,080 creatures are sleeping now. Isn't that great? A jet is in bed, and the bed of a jet is the softest of the beds in the world, it is said. He makes it from pom-poms he grows on his head, and he's sleeping right now on the softest of fluff, completely exhausted from growing the stuffs. The news has come in from the district of Dov that 2 offs are asleep and they're sleeping aloft. And how they are able to sleep off the ground, I'll tell you. I waited one last week and I offed. That an off is so light that he weighs minus 1 pound. A moose is asleep, he is dreaming of moose drinks. A goose is asleep, he is dreaming of goose drinks. That's well and good when a moose dreams of moose juice, and nothing goes wrong when a goose dreams of goose juice. But it isn't too good when a moose and a goose starts dreaming. They're drinking the other's one juice. Moose juice, not goose juice, is juice for a moose. And goose juice is not moose juice, is juice for a goose. So when goose goes and gets a mouthful of juice of moose, and moose gets a mouthful of juice of gooses, they'll always fall out their beds screams. So, I'm warning you now, never drink in your dreams. Speaking of dreams, I think you should note that the Bumble Tub Club is now dreaming afloat. Every night they go dreaming down the Bumble Tub Creek, except for one night, every 3rd or 4th week, when they stop for repairs, because their Bumble Tubs leak. But tonight they are all afloat, full of dreams, full of bliss, and that's why I'm bothering to tell you this. At the fork of a road in the Vale of Vivode, 5-foot, wary sailormen have laid down their loads. All day they've raced around in heat at the top seats, unsuccessfully trying to sell Ziggerzoo seeds, which nobody wants because nobody needs. Tomorrow will come. They'll go back to their chores, they'll start on the road, ziggerzooving once more. But tonight they've forgotten their feet are so sore, and that's what their wonderful night is for. Everywhere creatures have shut off their voices, they've all gone to bed in the beds of their choices. They're sleeping in bushes, they're sleeping in crannies, some on their stomachs and on their families. They're peacefully sleeping in comfortable holes, some even on soft tub barber shop poles. The number of sleepers is now past the millions. The number of sleepers is now past the billions. They're sleeping on steps and on strings and on floors. And the mailboxes, ships, and the keyholes of doors. Every worm on a fish should get safe for the night. Every fish in the sea is too sleepy to bite. Everyone in the ocean has turned off its spout. Every light between here far fully is out. And now adding things up, we are way beyond billions. Our whose sleep score is now up in the zillions. 99 zillion, 9 trillion, and 2 creatures are asleep, so how about you? When you put out your light, then the number will be 99 zillion, 9 trillion, and 3. Good night.